Here's tonight's confession, and it comes from Jilly's friend. Hello, Jilly's friend. Dear everyone involved in the tawdry business of forgiveness, I heard your Duran Duran confession, and it instantly took me back to Newton Abbot in about 1980 something or other. My best friend Jilly and I really loved the coolest band in the world, the best looking, the swoon-inducing Depeche Mode. Even now I get a small thrill writing their name. And writing Dave Garn is still a passport to heavenly bliss. You see, me and my friend Jilly were, and it seems still are, quite smitten. This is about your era, isn't it? It's just
a couple of years earlier than mine was 82.
You'd moved on a bit. We had posters, photos, annuals, T-shirts, singles, albums and cassettes. We would constantly spend time in each other's bedrooms dreaming of our inevitable dates with Dave. We'd take Martin Gore or Andy Fletcher if we had to, but it was Dave we fancied more than anything. We'd record Top of the Pops with our cassette recorders when they were on, and bitterly detest all the girls who stood near the stage within touching distance. We became proper vixens. We'd slag them off and call them all sorts of names. We couldn't believe they just jigged about instead of dancing wildly and passionately when the boys began to play. In the meantime, we would dress like Depeche Mode, we'd talk like them, and we had our hair like them. I hope this isn't sounding too creepy, says Jilly's friend. Well, I think it's... You're just a fan, Jilly's friend, that's all. And then, one day, one wondrous day, Jilly got tickets to Top of the Pops. Yes, actual tickets. All we had to do was skive off school and present ourselves at the BBC for the recording of our favourite show. The boys had People Are People out, but we didn't get our hopes up. Just being in the same studio that had been graced by Dave and company was enough. Maybe we'd see Peter Powell or Mike Reid. We were hysterical and unbearable, but we were going to Top of the Pops. So with our hair perfect and ripped jeans just about decent, though Jilly was stretching things a bit, we arrived on the Wednesday afternoon and joined the queue outside Television Centre. We were ushered on and herded around by a bloke with a headset on his head as cameras whizzed about and we were warned about getting in the way. We clapped and cheered loudly at everything so that the cameras might notice us. To this end, Jilly actually ripped another hole in her jeans, and she was noticed. Another man with headphones on asked her to dance on a podium. This was... they did that in the 80s. With some other girls, but not me. I was about to fall out with Jilly when she jumped off and said that the other girls were Thompson Twins fans, and we hated the horrible Thompson Twins. Sorry, Thompson Twins. So our presenter was announced as the hairy cornflake DLT himself, and off we went. We had a fantastic time waving at Phil Fearon and Galaxy and clapping along to Captain Sensible, but we were crushed as there was sadly no appearance of the Mighty Mode. We just had the video to dance to, which we'd done many times at home. Pretty brassed off, we came to the reason that I have written this tale. The last act was Shakin' Stevens. He was there in the flesh, and it seemed to us that he was there instead of Depeche Mode. Shaky fans had the real thing, we only had the video. So as he stood waiting to mime and shake, he waved to us, expecting a cheery wave back. What he got, I'm afraid to say, was a Churchillian salute from the Jilly's fingers, and me shouting, "You're useless, you are." I know it sounds terrible. He looked pretty crestfallen too. He did his number and then left. The song, I forget what it was, dropped down the chart after that. It might be my fault, me and Jilly anyway. So I need forgiveness for being rude to a denim-clad pop star whose only crime was really not being Depeche Mode. Sorry, Shaky, Jilly's friend. You can understand the kind of enormous disappointment. You get the tickets for Top of the Pops, the band that you love more than anything else. They could have been on, they had the single out, and they just got the video, which was probably on for about 1:30, which is what they normally did. Because, you see, it could use the video as a buffer to make things longer or shorter.
You know that, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you did that.
I wasn't doing it at this time, though, however, so it wasn't me, it was the hairy cornflake. So,
I love this confession. It brings me back to the days. I remember trying to record Bright Eyes on a cassette recorder from the TV, and it was just the worst version of Bright Eyes you've ever heard. I just don't know why I bothered. But
was it Art Garfunkel doing it, but it was just lots of people walking in and saying, all right, Rebecca,
exactly.
How are you doing? Have some Pinot Grigio.
Terrible. And all that stuff about dressing like, like your idols. I used to do that. I used to dress like Nick Hayward.
You still do?
Do I? Okay, occasionally I do. Anyway, back to the confession. I don't think it was Shaky's fault. It wasn't Shaky's fault, for goodness sake. He got the brunt of their anger. And surely, you know, when you've got tickets to Top of the Pops, whether or not they're going to be playing live, or whether it's going to be a video.
No, it's just announced when you get there.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I don't think they should have taken it out on Shaky Stevens. So, for that reason...
You're useless, you are!
Sorry, Jilly's friend, you're not forgiven.
So it's the Churchillian salute from Jilly's friend.
It's a good job we're not on webcam here, Mr. Mayo. You're doing the Churchillian
acting it
salute.
Out.
Yes,
for the slow-witted.
Thing is, I cannot forgive these. What was the name of our lovely lady?
Jilly's friend.
Jilly's friend. I cannot forgive any of you on the grounds of taste alone, really. I mean, Depeche Mode must have been very nice boys at some point.
They were good.
Well, it's every man to his own, or woman, in my case. And fancy not liking the Thompson Twins. What's wrong with them? Thompson Twins versus Depeche Mode. It's got to be the Thompson Twins every time.
I think if you compared them hit for hit,
No, I'm just comparing it on musical ability, really. So I would, I
have to tell you, Depeche Mode have a legion of very, very committed fans.
Well, I'd like to, I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologise. It's not my kind of thing. So anyway, I can't possibly forgive you on the grounds of taste. The fact that Shaky was there and not Depeche Mode is irrelevant to me. You're not forgiven.
Brother Matthew.
I am going to blame Shaky Stevens. What did he think he was doing by waving to two girls who were dressed up like Depeche Mode fans and thinking that was going to be all right? Thinking that they were going to go, oh, hi, Shaky, yes, we're big fans of yours as well. Not a lot of crossover in the Shaky versus Depeche Mode fan, as we've just found out. Not a lot of Shaky fans who are big Depeche Mode fans and vice versa. So I'm going to say you are definitely forgiven because, frankly, that Shaky knew what he was doing and got what he was expecting. So you're forgiven.
Okay, people's verdict, please. 291. I think we might get some Depeche Mode Thompson Twins Top of the Pops based confessions.
Oh yes, please.
That might be quite fun.
Mr. S. Mayo would be good.
It's confessions at bbc.co.uk, or you can go by the website. Thank you very much.
Yeah.